What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the Online Jamily, JamiroFan 2000, the beard of wisdom of the Online Jamily? We get another episode of JamiroFan Talks About. For the initiated of this series of nearly 9.5 years here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel, this has been my periodic discussion series looking at the past, present, and future of Jamiroquai, and they're now over 32 to 33 years of musical and influential making. Now, this episode of JamiroFan Talks About is going to be discussing that exciting edition that just recently got announced with the 20th anniversary vinyl reissue of Jamiroquai's classic album Dynamite, where it looks like Jamiroquai is now venturing back into remanufacturing and re-releasing samplers. Now, that is a very rare side of Jamiroquai's discography, which, at least in an official sense, has really not been re-engraced or re-appreciated by Jamiroquai's, Jamiroquai HQ for a very long time. And I thought I recorded an episode of JamiroFan Talks About to discuss this album sampler coming out with this album reissue, and that it does have a little bit of a connection to an old Jamiroquai promo from 2005. Now, like I said, as I prefaced the beginning episode of JamiroFan Talks About, this is very rare to see Jamiroquai HQ or Jamiroquai Official actually refurbishing and reissuing a sampler from their album era, because a lot of promos from over the years with Jamiroquai over, like I said, 32 to 33 years of their discography, they've never reissued any of their album samplers. But like I said, never say never with Jamiroquai. And one of JK's aspirations, at least in several interviews ago, many years ago, was that he wanted to have the whole Jamiroquai discography on vinyl, and then that finally came to fruition between 2022 to 2023. But it's really cool to see them doing a little bit of a new direction with their merchandising by doing a album sampler. Now, like I said, some album samplers did have rare versions of album tracks that didn't necessarily make it to the final cut of a mixing of an album, and in this case with Dynamite, there was an album sampler that came out in 2005 before the release of Dynamite around the world, which did feature special pre-final mix versions of some of the songs from Dynamite, including Feels Just Like It Should, Don't Give Hate a Chance, 7 Days in Sunny June, that otherwise would end up being edited and would end up going on the album as the album versions as we commonly know them as today. Now, if you are a proficient Jamiroquai collector like I am of promos, you would know that promo in question, at least the first version of it, which didn't go past maybe a radio station or indie record label capacity, it was very hard to find and to listen to, given that a lot of early Jamiroquai promos, at least the white label ones, were of a watermarking technology on the CD, which made the CD either A, unplayable on some brands of CD players at the time, or B, unrippable. And that was what the big fear was, at least with these early album samplers, especially around the period of Dynamite, was that people would be ripping them, because Sony Music had learned their lesson with the UK test pressing, which I've talked about many years ago here on my channel, of that UK test pressing of their album from 2001, A Funk Odyssey, getting online, and one of the greatest leaks of Jamiroquai unreleased music in the history of the band. Well, they put some heavy watermarking technology on that original sampler, but as of recently, I want to say is latter part of 2024, a fan actually got that sampler in question and was able to rip it onto YouTube so everybody could get a good listen to what those other alternate album extended versions of some of those tracks, which are going to be on that album sampler aforementionedly, that is coming out with the 20th anniversary reissue of Dynamite on vinyl in early June, or I should say mid-June of 2025. So if you are interested in hearing at least those album sampler versions of those tracks as a little bit of an appetizer before the legit thing actually ends up coming out in many additional copies of the Dynamite reissue, that will be coming out June 13th of 2025 in the official channels. There is like I said, there is an audio rip of that sampler from 2005 that is available on YouTube. So I'll be sure to link that album sampler, at least that album sampler for right now, not the new one, but this old one from 2005 that recently got ripped and got put up to share. So if you'd like to get a little bit of a taste of what those other versions will sound like, I'll be sure to put a link to that sampler down in the description area of this episode JamiroFan Talks About down below, so be sure to check that out in your own time. It's a very interesting deep dive listening in to what something listened to was created, how it sounded originally before it went to the mixing process and came out completely different as an album version. So that's it for this episode of JamiroFan Talks About. I thought I'd do an episode to flesh out these album samplers, because this is exciting times to see Jamiroquai HQ actually going into refurbishing or releasing promos. And I hope this is indicative of them doing it in the future with future Jamiroquai album reissues in the future, because this is really cool, and I really appreciate Jamiroquai HQ doing this move. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. I hope you enjoyed this episode of JamiroFan Talks About. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell on your YouTube to stay up to date on all the latest new content coming from the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel as we enter into the late spring, into early summer of 2025. And like I said, in many videos here on my channel, May to July is going to be a very busy period for Jamiroquai, and potentially the period where the album 9 that I've been discussing to ad nauseum here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel will be hitting some final mixing fruition. So I'll be sure to cover that, hopefully with more news and more updates as it becomes available, and I will fully endeavor in bringing you all the latest Jamiroquai news as it becomes available. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I'll see you again really soon with more Jamiroquai related content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Thank you again all for the support throughout this year, and I'll see you soon with more content.